So where we last left off on the Umineko episode 7 Tea Party was that let's see here. What can we elaborate without even giving any short sort of detail? Well, let's see. Well, other than the whole argument of the family inheritance when it comes to the gold bars, you know, apparently it is confirmed that Pietro Ricci attempted to be tried to be a terrorist, or admitting to if they don't solve the puzzle, the sort, she's either gonna blow up the entire island or murder everyone. So this whole epitaph resulted from the whole entire family inheritance discourse. Apparently, there are some accidental killings, although it's mostly on Eva's fault, of course. So, but she wanted to cause some sort of explosion to make it look like it seems like an accident, and then which resulted the fight between Eva and Rosa. So I don't know, man. Not really. This is I mean, what else do you want me to elaborate on? Anyway, let's continue. Eva ground her teeth and glared. The Rosa she knew should have been shaking and obeying her commands, and yet Rosa wasn't scared. Her blank expression. No, that faint smile was one that Eva had never seen before.
銃を下ろしなさい、姉さん。頭を冷やせば、私の提案が最善だとわかるはず。いいじゃない、刑務所。経済行為で考えてみて。仮に10年食らうとしても、釈放されれば50億が待ってる。それって年収5億のお仕事ってことでしょ。そう思えばお勤めも楽しくなるんじゃない？嘘だわ。あんたはその間に私たちの取り分も取って逃げる気よ。あんたの男がそうしたようにね。うちの人のことは関係ないでしょ。私は逃げないわよ。お金を持ち逃げなんて絶対に絶対にしないわよ。
Rosa's once frigid face was filled with rage. The two howling people pointed their guns at each other, shouting insults. You could smell the gold room's reaper slinking closer. The smell of gunpowder, the explosive smell of death, filled the room. Gee, I wonder who fucking died this time. A bubble of blood dripped from Rosa's mouth. Then she fell over lifelessly like a mannequin someone had pushed over.
Eva!
私じゃないわよ。私、本当に引き金を引いてないのに。
Well, here's the thing though, if you didn't fucking kill Rosa, then who did? Surely it's not someone hiding in the corner.
エヴァ姉さんの銃はさっき夏日さんを撃った時弾が空になったでしょ。
Oh wow. Of course Kyrie would use the gun.
再装填してないんだからどう引き金を引いてもその銃では人は殺せないわ。 安心して。
Seems Kyrie knows how the gun works. What a surprise. As Kyrie said this, she maneuvered the lever action with a practiced hand, and a smoke-smelling shell casing was ejected. It hit the floor with a small metallic sound. That tiny sound had a disturbing ring to it.
ローザさんの見込みは少し甘いわ。無刻印をこれだけ大量のインゴットを換金するのなんて、どれだけ大変かまるで分かってないわ。
I mean, these gold ingots are weigh quite a lot, so.
見せ金に使っただけで後ろ宮家黄金伝説なんてのができちまうほど、親父の時にだって大きな噂になったんだ。無理さ、換金なんて。換金できねえ黄金の山なんてクソの山と同じだぜ。
Is that how the economic method work? You can't really exchange a pile of fucking metal into fucking cash then?
10トンもの黄金が水面下で換金されていて、次期当主夫婦が開始。これで目立つなという方が無理な話だわ。警察沙汰にしない方がいい。この島を吹き飛ばして証拠隠滅。インゴットに未練があるなら持てる分だけどうぞご勝手に。10億のキャッシュカードだけで見返りは十分。つまりエヴァ姉さんが正しいのよ。
Well, yeah, because how much money do you really want? No, I mean, I know a lot of people want is not enough, considering
嬉しいわ。
considering it's a fucked up rich family. So
あなたと意見が一致して。警察沙汰になれば何が起こるかわからない。黄金の換金だってそうだ。きっとボロを出すきっかけになるわよ。私たちにはどうにもならなかった。あの女が現金化してくれた10億が私たちに手に入れられる唯一のお金なのよ。
you mean the lifeless doll that's gonna sit there?
そして10億の山分けだけでも私たちには十分すぎるわ。そして今ローザが死んで、その分け前はさらに増えたわ。私たちは5億ずつを持って島から出られる。
Yeah, you make it sound like 250 million is not even enough to like pay off the bills or pay off the debt or anything. I mean, unless you really did something extremely gullible to where the debt just already risen up, or I mean, I don't know how this really works in terms of like managing a fucking corporation. So
そういうことよ。黄金を換金したいなんて欲さえ捨てれば、この島で起こった全てをなかったことにできる。
this music is a little too scary. It's like cyberpunk horror, if you ask me.
そういう仕掛けがここにはあるわ。
By this point, neither deaths from accidental discharges nor shooting murders meant anything on this island. Everything would be erased equally by the explosion accident. No matter what happened between now and midnight the next day, everything would be rewritten.
自首しろですって、バカローザ！
I mean, you did happen to kill Natsuki and I mean both you and Hideyoshi cause accidental deaths, quote unquote.
3億ポッチじゃ嫌？欲の皮を突っ張らせるからよ。自業自得だわ。
しかし桐江さん、何も打つことはなかったやろ。ローザさんかて話せば分かってくれた話や。
撃つ必要はあったの？だってローザさんだけが銃を撃ってないんだもん。
そらどういう意味でっか？
あなたたちの足元に落ちているクラウス兄さんの銃とエヴァ姉さんの銃、どちらも発砲済みだわ。でもローザさんの銃は引き金を引くだけで弾が撃ててしまう。レバーアクションは慣れないとリロード難しいのね。素人じゃなかなかできないわ。
Jesus Christ.
キリエさん、何の話？
あんた！
They finally realized what Kyrie meant. Rosa had the only gun that could still fire, so I shot her first. Oh, how foolish we were. Why didn't we realize sooner? Even though we knew there's a mechanism for erasing everything that happens on this island. Eva and Hideyoshi hurried to pick up the guns that lay at their feet. At the same time, fire spat from Kyrie's gun once more. Hideyoshi let out a short scream, clutched at his chest, and fell over face down.
あなた何これ？
Eva fiddled with the lever action, trying to imitate something she vaguely remembered from a Western movie, but something seemed to be caught, and the still open lever didn't budge.
ね、結構難しいでしょ。
Kyrie finished reloading with a fluid motion. The way she held it was as innocent and sure as a kid playing with a squirt gun. My god. With another heartless cry of gunfire, the puppet called Eva slumped down to the floor, as though its strings had been cut.
ルドルフさん、10億のカード。
おう。
The cash card with $1 billion yen, which Eva had just grabbed from the witch, that alone was worth more than enough. The 20 billion yen pile of gold had skewed everyone's sense of value. Just a few million yen is enough for people to kill over, and this was $1 billion yen.
ローザさん、あんたのさっきのあれ、名言よ。3億ポッチ？あんた、欲をかきすぎだわ。
違いねえな。お、ラッキーだぜ。死体をまさぐらずに済む。
As Rudolph walked up to Eva's body, he found the card lying beside it and picked it up.
この薄っぺらいの1枚で10億か。もう会社もバカらしいぜ。畳んじまって余生はのんびり南国で過ごすか。
どうせすぐ飽きるわ。それに私、トラブルで苦悩したり、それを乗り越えて無邪気に喜んだりしてるあなたが好きなんだもの。
You.
So, you know what? I thought there are a lot of things I don't really agree with Kyrie, but you know what? Hey, at least this little tale right here in Tea Party, there's no magic involved, right? So surely this whole entire Ushir and Mia family as a whole is fucked up, you know, right? Ah, fucking Kyrie. Like I tried to give, you know, Kyrie and Rudolph some chances, like maybe, but those two are already fucked up. Like they don't deserve some fucking chances whatsoever.
ありがとう黄金の魔女さん。この10億は私とルドルフさんで有効に使わせてもらうわ。
No words.
クラウス兄さんはあんたを紳士的に扱うと約束したわ。でも私はそんな約束をしていない。
Oh my god, and she fucking killed Beatrice just like that. She pulled the trigger without a trace of mercy. When the ringing of the gunfire died down, blood trickled from the witch's mouth, and she fell over onto the bed. Once again, Kyrie ejected the used shell case. She fucking killed the Beatrice off. What a piece of shit. I know this is not the type of thing to be judge something like this, but like I'm gonna assume that like if she doesn't shoot Beatrice, then she's gonna like set off the explosives. That's my sort of my, you know, charitable theory to this. The four metal sounds of used shells hitting the floor seemed to symbolize the fact that Rudolph and his wife now possessed all shares of the gold.
本当に頭の回転の鈍いやつらだわ。爆弾の仕掛けを聞いたとき、この島からすべての仲良しごっこが消え去ったことに気づけなかったなんて。
悪いな、兄貴、姉貴、ローザ。まあこいつはたまたまの成り行きだ。勘弁してくれよな。兄貴と姉貴が喧嘩をしてローザがそれに巻き込まれ、俺がひょいっと漁夫の利をさらう。昔からのお約束じゃねえかな。
It wasn't as though Rudolph and Kyrie had planned to kill everyone and take everything for themselves from the start. Kyrie had finally realized by the length of the barrel of the gun in her hands that it would probably hold 5 rounds at a time. Yes, Kyrie and Rudolph were both very familiar with this gun. Rudolph, whose interest in guns from old westerns came from his father, owned a shotgun of the same model. Even Kyrie had earned the qualifications to use that gun, becoming familiar enough with it that they could go shooting together for fun. Including the witch, there had been 8 people there, 6 people besides the 2 of them. Each gun held 5 rounds. That was 1 short. They didn't have enough to kill everyone.
兄貴たちが取っ組み合いをして暴発が起こった時には正直驚いたぜ。
That coincidental accident had provided the missing bullet. It wasn't the second shot. The very first shot, which had accidentally killed Natsuki, had guaranteed that this massacre would happen. In this smoke and corpse-filled room of gold, the 2 of them wore easygoing smiles, hardly any different from those they usually wore.
どうする？これから。
Rudolph picked up Rosa's gun. Then, he fired a test shot at the wall and injected the old shell with a smooth motion like Kyrie's. Kyrie went to the box of bullets on the table, casually picked up a few, and loaded them one after another into her gun.
爆弾のスイッチをオンに。 そしたらあとは24時間を待つだけよ。
朝になれば姿が見えないと騒ぎになるぜ。
騒がせなければいい。
そうなるな。バトルはどうする？
あなたの子供よ。私の子供じゃないわ。
そういうこと言うなよ。あんなに懐いてたじゃねえか。
He's your son, not mine.
あいつお前のこと尊敬してるんだぜ。
じゃあうまいこと言いくるめる言い訳を考えてね。
You know, the way you say that makes it sound like you don't care.
私はエンジェのことを考える。あなたはバトラ君のことを考える。公平でしょ？
うん。ああ。
私、自分の子供には優しいけれど、アスムさんの子供にまで優しくするの結構大変なの。分かってるでしょ？
Kiri's voice had grown cold. She had acted warmly towards Battle because that had been the adult thing to do. He was Rudolph's son, so she tried to avoid being hostile, nothing more. But underneath, he was the son of Sumu, a woman Kiri still hated even though she was dead. Now that she had given birth to Angie and finally built up a new family, was Battler's return really such a happy thing for her?
腹をくくって。
That's a good question. I mean, that's up for the readers. That is up. I feel like that is up to the readers for them to decide whether it's a happy thing for her or not. Because we already know what Kiri had done.
ここまで来たら。
Like it's not like everyone being swayed for the first time. It's not like everyone's gonna be like taken aback, be like, oh, but it's like, you know.
10億をつかむか死ぬかだけよ。バトラ君が納得しなかったら悪いけれどそれまでよ。
脅かすなよ。任せろって。うまいこと丸め込んでやるから。
せいぜいしっかりね。バトラ君が事故で亡くなったと聞いたらきっとエンジェも悲しむわ。
おう。手始めにどうする？
朝を待って得になることはないわ。今が最適よ。
やる。一服する暇もなしかよ。
Well, ends just like that. Yeah, can this get any more worse?
テスト？何をする気だよ。この時間に？今から？
Est? Who the hell's yelling? Who the hell's calling Badler at this late at night? Badler yelled wildly into the receiver. When he said at this time of night, George and Jessica turned to look. According to the clock, it was past midnight. It might be a normal time to be told to brush their teeth and go to bed, but he couldn't understand what this testing was all about.
分かったよ。変わるぜ。ジョージの兄貴に。うちの親父から
もしもし、変わりました。ジョージです。
おう、ジョージ君か。こんな時間にすまねえな。寝てたわけじゃねえだろ。みんなでいろいろ盛り上がってたんだろ。
That's shocking. I thought they would be asleep by now.
そんなところです。マリアちゃんは寝てて、いや、目が覚めたみたいです。それで、何の話ですか？バトラ君はテストとか言ってましたけど。
ん？ああ。親父にも困ったもんさ。さっき唐突に上から降りてきてな。いろいろあった挙句、どの孫が次の当主にふさわしいかなんて話に急になっちまってよ。
次期当主はクラウスおじさんなのでは？
俺たち4人はみんな次期当主失格だとよ。それで俺たち親をすっ飛ばして孫から次期当主を選ぶなんて話になっちまったわけさ。急な話で俺たちも大いに荒れてる。向こうで兄貴たちはケンケンガクガクやってるぜ。姉貴の金切り声が受話器越しにも聞こえねえか？
そうですか。おじい様がおっしゃることなら仕方がないですね。それで僕たちはどうすれば？
ジェシカちゃんから順に一人ずつ呼び出しがあるそうだ。ちょっと待ってくれ。もしもし。トップバッターはジョージ君とジェシカちゃんだそうだ。ジェシカちゃんは屋敷の客前、ジョージ君は礼拝堂の前まで行ってほしいそうだ。
いきなりのことで心の準備が全くありませんが。テストって何ですか？
親父のやつめ、おかしなクイズみたいなものを作ったみたいだ。
Crazy.
当主の心構えとは何ぞやみたいな沈問らしいぜ。
Of course, a few things about this seemed off to George. However, Kinzo was famous for doing radical things on a whim. Even this strange test seemed plausible once he heard that it was a sudden idea of Kinzo's. But even so, if he wanted to test them one by one, why wouldn't he call them out one by one? They could have just had everyone wait in some reception room and be called in one at a time. Yeah, that's weird. Calling all of the people at once? It's crazy. Why would two people be called to different places at the same time? The plan didn't seem to make sense, and George felt he was missing something.
しかし、なんだってジョージ君は礼拝堂前なんだろうな。じいさまが特に要望してる。よくはわからねえが、二人きりで話したいことがあるそうだ。
おじい様が僕に？
何の話だろうな。ジョージ君は孫の中で一番優秀だからな。
Seemed like it.
何か特に話したいことでもあるんじゃねえか？とにかくそういうわけだ。すぐに移動してくれ。
Okay, but what if we say no?
礼拝堂の方には俺も行くことになってる。さっさと済ませようぜ。お互い風邪をひいちまうわ。
そうですか。わかりました。では僕は礼拝堂の前、ジェシカちゃんは客前。 はい。それでは後ほど。
What sort of test or private conversation could Kinzo possibly want to have at this time of night? Then again, it's a well-known fact that Kinzo doesn't have long to live. It wouldn't be so strange if he wanted to give some sort of will to each of his descendants individually. Inside George's mind, the faint feeling that something was wrong was replaced by a desire to meet Kinzo directly and hear about this in more detail. George set down the receiver and quickly explained to the others.
聞いたの通りだよ。おじい様が僕たち全員に何かのテストをしたいと言ってる。
Oh man. This seems a little bit too skeptical for my taste.
テスト？何年かぶりに書斎から出てきたと思ったら、こんな時間にテストごっこかよ。たくじいさまめ。何を考えてやがんだ。
それに関しては僕たちの親も同感のようだよ。かなり揉めてるみたいだ。
ま、揉めたところでじいさまには勝てないんだろうけどな。
そういうことだね。仕方がない。当主様の命令だからね。従おう。まず最初は僕とジェシカちゃんが呼ばれてる。僕は礼拝堂へ。ジェシカちゃんはお屋敷の客前だそうだ。
Well, this'll be fun.
俺とマリアは
Yeah, what about us?
追って連絡があると思うよ。ここで待ってて。
真夜中のテスト。なんだろう。どんなテストだろう。クイズ？パズル？マリア、狼と羊のパズルなら得意。
Oh, whatever it is, it ain't no fucking basic college course test. That's for damn sure. Maria, who was now fully awake, seemed to be very excited about this unexpected midnight test.
じゃあ俺たちは留守番してるぜ。
じゃあ行ってくるよ。もう待ってるみたいだし。
次期当主は孫の誰かにね。私には好都合だぜ。誰かに押し付けるチャンス。マリア、次期当主になる。なりたい、なりたい。
マリアが次期当主ってのも悪くねえぜ。
じゃあね。また後で。
Oh boy. This is not gonna go so well. Rudolph put down the receiver and stood up.
さて、俺は礼拝堂前か。冷えそうだな。ゴーダさん、戻ってきたら熱いコーヒーの用意を頼むぜ。
Oh my god, he actually murdered this. Wait, don't tell me all the servants got murdered there. Next to Rudolph, Golda was lying face up. His face was covered by a crossword puzzle book. However, his pages were stained with blood and he didn't need to move the book to imagine how he had met his pitiful end.
どう？いい脚本だったでしょ？
Let me guess. Did Shannon and Cannon got killed off and Kumasawa as well? Possibly Genji?
ああ、親父に感謝だぜ。 親父の気まぐれってことにしときゃ誰も疑いやしね
じゃあ手分けしていきましょう。私はジェシカちゃん、あなたはジョージ君。
おう、手際よく済ませてのんびりコーヒーでもすすろうぜ。
大丈夫よね。今頃になって両親の呵責とかないわよね。
Kyrie smiled coldly. It probably would have been safer to call them out one by one and finish them off together. However, Kyrie had chosen to have her husband work separately. She wanted to measure Rudolph's resolve. If she was the only one who got her hands dirty and Rudolph just watched, his heart wouldn't be as dedicated to this venture. By having him dirty his own hands, she could make him truly determined to see this thing through. Kyrie understood this sort of mind game better than anyone else. Rudolph reflexively averted his gaze from the cold glint in her eyes, but then he just shrugged and answered her question.
当たり前だろ。10億の金が手に入るかどうかの瀬戸際にいるんだ。俺も男だぜ。人生に二度とないチャンスを棒に振るつもりはねえさ。
それでこそルドルフさんよ。私はここ一番のチャンスを逃さない人が好き。そんなあなただから私は好きになったのよ。
おう、嬉しいぜ。
ルドルフさん。
なんだよ。
Rudolph's like, oh shit.
ずっといてね。
え？なんだって？
ずっと私の好きなルドルフさんのままでいてね。
当然だろ。俺がいつお前を失望させたよ。お前はそんな心配より祝杯をあげる時のシャンパンの銘柄でも迷ってろってんだ。
そうするわ。いい？バトラ君が大事なら礼拝堂前でジョージ君をやっちゃダメよ。死体を見つけられたら面倒でしょ。
ああ、分かってる。その辺にうまく誘い出すさ。雨の屋外だ。どうとでもなるさ。
西部劇の悪役じゃないんだからね。メイドの土産とか最後に言い残すことはとかそんなことやっちゃダメよ。
God. You know, looking back, that's the thing whenever I'm reading through this of like what their plans are, what their murder plans are going to be is like, am I just going to just straight up just be quick to judge? See, my quick judgment is like what Kyrie was doing. She's a fucked up human being. So, and it feels like Rudolph is just straight up being gaslit. So, I don't know. Kyrie lifted up her own gun again and ran the lever to eject the casing from the round she had killed Goda with. Well, if there was Goda, then where the fuck is the other servants? Oh shit, Eva's still alive?
あなた。
Eva was holding Hideyoshi's body and crying. She hadn't been shot at all. The bullet had grazed her head and Oh, she didn't get killed. The bullet had grazed her head and missed. She hadn't been playing dead. She really thought that she'd been shot. When Kiri's gun spat fire, Eva felt something fierce skim past her head before feeling lightheaded and fainting. Then she had awoken in the now silent room of the gold. The remains of her beloved husband lay beside her, as well as Kraus, Natsuki, and Rosa's corpses. You're just gonna ignore the fucking, like, blonde woman that fucking got shot and laying dead on the bed. It was a room of death and piled up bodies. When she had cried all she could over Hideyoshi's body, she realized that she still had something she needed to do.
ジョージが危ないわ。ジョージ。
They're trying to use the bomb to blow up everything to bury this whole island with an explosion accident. I'm pretty sure the bomb has already been set before you lay down and before you had passed out. So, of course, as Eva had expected, the switch on the clock was set to the right, which meant that it was active. Eva moved to flip it to the left and stopped. That's right. As long as this switch points to the right, everything that happens will disappear in this night of illusions. Yes, this is an illusion. No matter what happens tonight, everything will become muddled and hidden away.
あいつらはきっと残りのみんなを殺すわ。そうに違いない、絶対に。
When she looked at the table with the box of bullets, she saw signs that they had roughly grabbed a bunch of bullets before leaving. It clearly showed that they planned to use that many bullets. I have to fight, if only to protect just the life of my precious son. The gun that I dropped when I was shot is stuck with the lever open. No matter how hard I pull, it won't open any further and it won't close again. Apparently a bullet has gotten jammed, breaking it. It's just as Kyrie said, loading a bullet is tough if you aren't used to it.
お願い、あなた。力を貸して。ジョージを守るために力を貸して。
In Hideyoshi's hand was Kraus's gun, which he had been trying to pick up. Eva took it, prayed to her husband one more time, and tugged on the lever handle. With a light metallic sound, the golden casing spun through the air and bounced off the ground. When she timidly tried to push the lever back, this time it returned to its original place without any resistance. There was another metallic clang. It was the sound of a new bullet being loaded.
Hmm. そんなことだろうと思ったわ。私にとって一番胸くその悪いゲームを見せて嘲笑ってやろうって魂胆ね。
Scheming to show you it's what do you mean it's just to mock you? I mean, I'm pretty sure the last part I had I'm pretty sure last part or two I had uploaded it. Really, I already answered to you that is like it goes to show like how fucked up your fucking family is. I mean, you saw what, you know, Kyrie and Rudolf did, right? Those are your fucking parents. Rudolf is your stepdad. But I don't know if I had to pick between the two who are like arguably worse, it would be Kyrie. So I mean, I guess it really goes to show that Kyrie's sister is a complete piece of shit, right? Then I guess that means Kyrie is also a piece of shit. But I don't know what Kyrie is like. No, I don't know if she's on the worst level, right? I mean, we have like the tier list of like where we call it piece of shit, and we call it like bottom feeding subhuman piece of shit. You know, and there are two levels with it, right? In the game so far, various people had been suspected of being the culprit or an accomplice. The only difference now was that Rudolph and Kyrie were those suspects. However, to Angie, that was the most infuriating plot twist possible. Oh, there you go. You have. I mean, if anything, a lot of the times is. I guess this sort of. I mean, there are many multiple layers of truth within like fragments, right? But I guess if anything, like we've seen enough. We've seen enough. I think we already seen enough episodes to where the Ushiro Miya family as a whole, except for the teenagers that are like part of the family, right? But I can say that 70-80% of the characters within the Ushiro Miya family are dysfunctional as fuck. No, you know what I mean? Like I didn't even really say anything because I don't want to like talk over the fucking dialogue, right? But it's just wow. This is a heart-wrenching moment. Even Leon was full of painful thoughts. Solving the epitaph was supposed to be the only miracle that could lead to a game without a single victim. But ironically, the tragedy hadn't been averted even so. Does this mean we aren't allowed to have a future where we all happily return from this island alive? Even if the epitaph is miraculously solved before the crime occurs? A miracle certainly will not occur. Those words, which I had heard in one of the fragments Castle had shown me, raced through my mind.
ベルンカステルさん、あなたは私にこの世界の素晴らしさを教えてくれた。そんなあなたがエンジェを傷つけるためだけにこんな物語を紡ぐとは信じたくない。ゲームマスターがあなたであることはもう私にも分かっているんです。教えてください。どうしてあなたはこんなゲームを私たちに見せるんです。
That's the thing. Why are we shown this? What does this have to accomplish other than just to show how fucked up our family is? And how you have nothing more than just some typical fucked up rich family. Of course, no one answered Leon's muttered question. The game created to mock Angie continued emotionlessly, with more terrible twists that didn't betray anyone's expectations anymore.
好きに最悪のゲームを繰り広げればいい。猫箱の中の無限の可能性の中の一つだと言いたいんでしょ。好きになさいよ、好きに。私はこんなことではくじけない。1986年10月5日の真実をいつか必ず暴いてやるんだから。
Got a little bit of a cliffhanger here. So, actually, how many parts so far? Other than, let's see, Tea Party. The fuck? Where the fuck's the Tea Party at? Oh. Ah, okay. Hold on. There we go. One. Damn, how many do we have so far? 2, 3. Man, we're just going through like parts by parts worth. But I think this is a You know what? Why the hell not? Well, we'll end it from here. So, next part, let's see how much we can actually suffer through. Like, we have like Kraus and Natsuki being dead, Hideyoshi died, Eva, surprisingly being alive, I assume Eva is gonna follow through and commit her own revenge plot before George gets killed off, or planning to. So it's around the cliffhanger. So I'm assuming what is going to be happen. I'm kind of curious how Jessica will get killed off, but I'm going to assume it's just the typical boring, getting their heads blown off. So with that being said, I'm going to end it from here. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. And take care.